Hello everybody, this is Peter. This is Sunday, about 2 o'clock, the 25th of August, and I'm quite obviously standing on a bridge over a river. It's not really a river, it's a stream, and those of you who may have seen videos 6 months ago will recognise this area. This is the Chess River, or the River Chess, which is going underneath this bridge at quite a rate over there, and then because of that there's a bit of a vortex and it's circulating back over here. This is the only place in this river that I once saw a brown trout just below the surface. As you can see, it's extremely shallow, probably less than a foot, maybe 18 inches deep, or in new money half a metre. But it's a very pretty valley, the Chess River Valley. The walk that goes along it goes for 10.5 miles, and I'm joining it just north of Little Chalfont, for which the station is Chalfont and Latimer. But I don't want to just show you that. I'll do a scan round. As is my wont, we'll go clockwise. There's a farm over there. Perhaps most interestingly from this point of view, or half most interestingly, semi-most interestingly, is one of the weirdest weirs I've ever seen, which is rather nice. The water is cascading almost Busby Berkeley style, you can say that. Now, in recent video, last weekend I think it was, I explored the Grand Union Canal weeds and algae problem. Well, this river doesn't have an algae problem, but it has a rushes problem. You can almost picture Moses himself in a basket somewhere there amongst the rushes. Are they called rushes? Yes, I think they are. So there we are. There's the weir is there, otherwise the river would be out of control. We have to call it a river, even though really it's a stream, and it's a chalk stream. And the final major feature, viewed from this bridge, which doesn't have a name, is of course the forbidding edifice that is Latimer House, there on the hill. It's so wonderful, it has such mood, projects so much, and you can almost see Mrs. Danvers walking across one of the windows at the top of the house. And look at those chimneys, aren't they fantastic? They look Elizabethan, but I think the house is much younger than that. In fact, I think it replaces an older model. And as some of you may know, I've always been fascinated with that building, because it's where in World War II Rudolf Hess was incarcerated and interrogated once he arrived in Scotland and tried to stop the war. But there's some cows over there munching away. But it's quite inaccessible, this little area. You have to be able to walk to get here, really. Cars do go along the road in the centre of the valley, but not very often. But that Latimer House has for a long time been a hotel, and they have sort of conferences and things like that. But I used to wander in and sort of sit in the lounge, which was book-lined, plush furniture, very pleasant place to be. But they seem to have doubled up the number of receptions now. Have a reception at the top of the hotel and one at the bottom. So they probably would reject people like me coming in. I'd have to have an excuse, which I could probably have. Now, that's one last look at the way. Talking about entries into places, one of the things I certainly used to do a lot when I was younger was to go into, I've never seen this place so busy, was to go into places into which I wasn't officially allowed. Um, there are two examples I can think of. One is I went to Henley Regatta once, mainly because I'd never been, and I like rowing. And there are lots of tents and marquees with various clubs scattered along the Thames. And the most elite, most exclusive, most private, most important club of all then was the Leander Club. And they had their own marquee, and they didn't have anyone sort of at the entrance. So I nipped in while nobody was looking, and I thought, this is fantastic. I'm in the Holy of Holies. I've finally made it into the Leander Club. And there were some, I suppose you'd call them members, standing around, rather drunk, I must admit. I wasn't. Just sort of standing there like statues, barely noticing me, just sort of wondering when the next drink was coming. So the whole thing was a bit of a waste of time, really. But I felt so excited to get into the Leander Club. The second most interesting place I've walked into is the Playboy Club. They used to have a Playboy Club in central London. I don't even know if they still have one. And I was with a few friends. We'd had a few drinks. We went to the entrance. Of course, we weren't allowed in because we probably looked quite scruffy, long-haired, or I don't know what we looked like. But there was a certain amount of confusion, and the people on the door stopped my friends, and I slipped through unnoticed. When I got in, there were just people gambling roulette, or cards, or chemin de fer, or whatever, which didn't interest me in the slightest. So actually being there was another anticlimax. So it's funny, if you really want something, the greatest curse might be that you actually get what you want, which may not turn out to be as interesting as you thought. The final quick story is Wimbledon. I had a friend called Simon Moore, who was on the gate for the fortnight, and well, I hope I don't get him into trouble, but this was a long time ago. But if you queued up, you could get onto centre court, and we didn't have to queue up that much because Simon was on the gate. And we went in, we watched an entire week of tennis, which was very tedious. And my friend Clive, who's about 6'5", was at the front, which didn't really appeal to the people behind him. And somehow one of us got an entry ticket to the debenture holders bar, and this in Wimbledon is the Holy of Holies. If you're a debenture holder, you buy your debenture for thousands of pounds, and we thought of a ruse whereby this chap had two tickets, I think, went into the bar. His friend came out with both tickets, went in again with another friend, went out again with another friend, and so on. And we got all our group into the debenture holders bar quite simply by that simple method. Now, if this makes me out to be a criminal, I'm afraid I plead guilty. But no harm was done. We had a drink, nobody noticed. And again, to get into the Holy of Holies at Wimbledon proved to be not as interesting or exciting as it could have been. But once you've done these sort of things 2 or 3 times, I suppose it's sort of interesting and fun to do. But ultimately, what does it prove? It just proves that I can get into places sometimes I used to be able to. So here we are, we're in the Chess River Valley, and we're going up the north side, and lo and behold, there are 2 or 3 cars going by, which is very rare. There's a big crowd following me up the hill. So I'll stop there. Thanks a lot for watching. It's Peter the Rock. It's Sunday the 25th of August, about 2:15, 2:30. Cheers.